Alex used to talk too much, he didn't know it, but every word he spoke was making him weaker. Until one day, silence became his weapon. And the moment he stopped explaining, he started winning. Alex was a smart guy, ambitious, articulate, the kind of person who always had the right answer in the room. At meetings, he spoke the loudest. In conversations, he filled every silence. He thought his words made him look confident, but he never realized the effect he was actually having. People started avoiding eye contact when he spoke. They'd nod, but never really listen. His boss barely took him seriously anymore. And in rooms where real decisions were being made, Alex wasn't even invited. He didn't know it yet, but he was committing a fatal mistake. The more he said, the less power he had. One night, out of frustration, Alex searched, "Why does nobody take me seriously?" He stumbled on a simple idea: say less than necessary. It didn't sound profound until he looked closer. In every ancient court, from kings to emperors, those who spoke less were feared more. Those who revealed nothing were untouchable. Every unnecessary word was like handing your opponent your sword. Alex realized something shocking. His words weren't proving his intelligence. They were exposing his weaknesses. And so he made a promise to himself: from now on, I speak only when it gives me leverage. The next day, a crisis hit his department. Everyone was scrambling to speak. Excuses, justifications, blame. But Alex? He said nothing. Just listened, observed, took mental notes. When his boss finally asked Alex, "What's your take?" he paused and calmly said, "Let's fix this. Here's the only thing that matters." One sentence. It cut through the noise. Everyone went quiet, and for the first time, all eyes were on him. Alex became quieter in meetings, more focused in conversations. He stopped interrupting. He let others reveal themselves. And something strange happened. His boss started asking him for advice. Colleagues leaned in when he spoke. Even competitors couldn't read him. His mystery became a source of power. And in silence, he found control. Psychology backs it up. In one study at Princeton, researchers found that people who pause before answering are perceived as more intelligent and thoughtful. Why? Because silence signals depth, control, authority. Another study in negotiation revealed that the less one party speaks, the more concessions they receive. In other words, silence doesn't just create power, it demands it. Alex learned to speak in short, sharp sentences. He turned every phrase into a blade. "I understand. Let me think on that. We'll revisit this next week." No over-explaining, no justification, no neediness. And the impact? Explosive. Suddenly, he was invited into rooms he'd never entered. The same people who once ignored him now waited for his input. All because he'd learned the secret: power doesn't shout, it whispers. The real shift wasn't in what Alex said, it was in what he didn't say. He stopped telling people his plans, stopped sharing his frustrations, stopped making promises. People started guessing his intentions, and when people can't read you, they fear you, because the unknown is more terrifying than the truth. 6 months in, Alex got a call. His director wanted to see him. The company had faced a scandal. Reputations were ruined. People were let go. But not Alex. "You've always been steady, discreet, thoughtful," the director said. "We need someone like you at the top." Alex didn't smile, didn't flinch. He just nodded and said, "I understand." Here's the truth. Alex still had doubts, still made mistakes, but no one saw them anymore. He had stopped narrating his flaws to the world. Instead, he let silence shape the version of him others imagined. And that version was strong, strategic, dangerous. Saying less didn't just change Alex's relationships. It changed his identity. He became more patient, more focused, more emotionally intelligent. When people tried to provoke him, he didn't react. When they questioned him, he didn't rush to defend. Silence made him harder to manipulate, harder to dismiss, harder to forget. Alex started using silence as a strategy. He'd leave pauses in conversations, just long enough to make others nervous. He'd offer less information, so others filled in the blanks themselves. And when people think they figured you out, they're actually playing your game. You control the rules, because you control what they know. Around him, people kept oversharing, rambling, explaining, justifying, and every time they did, Alex saw it as a gift. The moment they speak too much, he said once, they hand me the script to their minds. He never fought fire with fire. He used their noise to hide his strategy. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people speak out of fear. They want to be liked. They want to be understood. They want to control how they're seen. But in trying to do so, they give away everything. Alex learned that silence is control. And in control is power, not loud, not flashy, but sharp, cold, unmistakable. Years later, Alex was in a high-stakes negotiation. The room was tense, millions on the line. Everyone argued, pleaded, begged. But Alex, he said 5 words. You already know my answer. Then he stood up and walked out. He didn't beg, didn't explain, didn't follow up. And that single moment made him the most feared man in the room, because you can fight words, but not silence. What about you? Ask yourself, do you talk to fill silence or to gain ground? Do your words serve your ego or your purpose? Do people listen when you speak or wait for you to stop? Your silence may say more than your voice ever will, because in a world obsessed with talking, stillness becomes rebellion, and in rebellion, there is power. So the next time you're tempted to explain yourself, don't. The moment you say less, you become more. Subscribe to Cinery, where minds are sharpened like blades. And if you thought this was powerful, wait until you see what happens when your absence becomes your presence. Next video drops soon, and it gets even darker.